Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into something most people use every single day without ever questioning: perfume or cologne. It's sold as luxury, beauty, identity, confidence. But what if behind the scent, there's a darker story? What if the thing you spray on your skin every morning could be contributing to your headaches, hormone issues, skin flare ups, brain fog, or even nervous system stress? Today, we're going to explore the hidden world of fragrance, the industry, the secret ingredient loopholes, the chemicals that people never see on the label, and most importantly, what I have seen firsthand at my clinic, the Nerve Health Institute. This is going to be a fascinating conversation. Let's get into it.
Hi everyone, it's Cameron again. Today I'm here with Dr. Chris Cormier. We're actually going to be talking about perfumes and colognes today. Hello, Dr. Cormier.
Hi, Cameron.
Before I ask this, I think it's very important to mention that under U.S. law, fragrance formulas can often simply be listed as a fragrance or perfume, which may legally conceal multiple undisclosed chemicals, which is crazy. So, Dr. Chris, from your clinical perspective, how concerning is it that people may be exposed to hidden chemicals every day without realizing?
It's kind of twisted, right? Because I grew up in a household, and I remember, my dad spraying multiple layers of cologne, right? And I wanted to kind of follow in his footsteps, so I would kind of do the same. And then, when I started understanding down the road, I'm obviously older now, and I started understanding I don't wear any of that stuff anymore, just because you don't know what's in it. If you really pay attention to things, you should know what's in it. And these companies that have perfume and cologne, they have amnesty. They don't have to report what's in their products.
Yes.
So we have no clue of what is in there. But when you're using these types of things, you're obviously trying to appeal to people around. You're trying to make sure that you smell good,
Yes.
honestly. And sometimes we pick and choose these fragrances. It's very similar to like a food. It tastes amazing. It's like, oh my goodness, it's so good taste wise, but it's terrible for you. And that's what they're trying to appeal to with the sale of these types of things.
A lot of people may also not realize, but a single fragrance blend contains dozens of compounds that never appear individually on the bottle. Do you think that that lack of transparency may be contributing to symptoms that people never connect back to the actual perfume?
Again, this podcast is not about making perfume and cologne the worst thing ever, and it causes every single condition, and it does it's a puzzle piece, right? So we're here in the health and wellness sector to report to people and teach people little things that they're potentially doing that are puzzle pieces. And so your perfume cologne puzzle piece might be bigger. It might cause more problems in your body than somebody else's body. But just know that whatever you're doing on a day-to-day basis, including putting perfume or cologne, can have negative side effects. And the more negative you have, it manifests into a bigger puzzle full of more pieces.
Something that really stood out to me was that many fragrances contain ingredients that are associated with hormone and respiratory problems, such as phthalates, synthetic musk, and all those things. Have you seen any cases in your clinic where fragrance products maybe cause aggressive migraines, inflammation, hormone problems, or anything of that?
100%. Remember, any product out there that your nervous system doesn't like, it's like breakers in a breaker box. So you can spray this cologne on you or perfume, and you think, oh, it smells good, I smell good, but then breakers, nerves in your body start shutting off. The classic analogy I'll give to you is eating this great tasting food that's garbage, and it tastes good immediately. But long term, like as you start to digest and you try to get nutrients out of you, it makes you feel terrible. And so people just need to pay attention more. I think, the immediate high of spraying a cologne or perfume and smelling that smell, oh my goodness, I smell good. But then you may notice you don't feel so good. Your breathing may get bad. You may notice a headache. You may notice something doesn't feel right in your body as after you put that on. Just pay attention to it.
For those listening, it's worth knowing that a lot of the ancient perfumes were originally created with natural oils, biotanicals, and resins, whereas modern day perfumes are heavily rely on a lot of synthetic compounds. Do you believe that shift changed how the body responds?
Of course, remember, the more God made, the better, right? The more man made, not so good. And honestly, when it comes to God made, think about like essential oils, for instance. We love essential oils. They're from plants. They're purely natural things that plants have in them. So that would be an excellent alternative to using some of these. You know exactly what's in an essential oil.
Yes.
You don't know what's in some of these perfumes and colognes.
100%. Something that you actually mentioned on the Taylor Welch podcast that was really fascinating. You mentioned something about perfume. Do you remember that story and care to share it with us today?
Sure. Yeah. There was a little girl, and just the power of scent, and this doesn't relate to the negative connotations of a perfume,
Okay.
but it does relate to the power of a scent. So we had this little girl who came to see us. She was 8 years old at the time, and for 2 years she lost the ability to sleep. She literally couldn't sleep, and a mom brought her to every known major clinic, hospital, doctor. Couldn't figure out what was going on with the little girl. But 6 years, up until 6, she was fine. And so basically gets her to us, and we start doing our neurological testing that we do, and she's pretty solid. She didn't have a whole lot of nerves off. So I'll never forget, because remember, you have emotional stress, environmental stress, and physical stress that can mess up your cells and your nervous system and disconnect your brain to certain parts. So in the room, I asked the mom, and the mom is a mom sitting in a chair, and the little daughter, 8-year-old daughter, on the table, and I asked the mom, "Did somebody die close to you a couple years ago?" And the mom immediately, just waterworks, started crying. It was her mom. The little girl was like, "Yeah, it was my grandmother." She didn't start crying or anything. She didn't think she had such a connection. She knew she was close with her grandmother, but didn't put two. Nobody put two and two together. So the little girl was so close to her grandmother that she had her grandmother's perfume on the side of her bed. And so every night she'd get in that room, and her nervous system would sense that cologne or perfume, sorry, and it would shut off nerves. So we literally took that perfume, brought it into the office, made her smell it, and a ton of nerves shut off in her body, because it was actually bringing her nervous system back to remembering the smell of her grandmother.
Wow.
So we fixed those nerves on that one visit. I'll never forget. And she's slept perfectly ever since. She's now in her 20s. I mean, so this is the type of things that a smell can be very, very powerful in your nervous system. And so that was an emotionally tied perfume. I really didn't even get into the ingredients of that perfume, because I didn't have to. She got so much stronger after. It wasn't like she was wearing the perfume either. But what we did do is strengthen her back to that scent, to where she could have it in her room and she could sleep.
That's amazing. Before we close, I want to make this more practical for the audience. What's the first thing that you tell someone listening tonight to do when they get home? Check the bottle, remove the scent, or track symptoms?
I'm personally just not a big fan of using a lot of perfumes and colognes. Do some of my family members use some of it? Yes. Me personally, I choose not to. But if you're going to use something like this, just use it sparingly, right? Don't use it all the time, because the more you're using a combination of these really big chemicals, you can have side effects. And if you have the ability to use like an essential oil type blend as a substitute, I would recommend that, because so much better. And you may notice with certain essential oils, you may have some that you don't feel so good when you smell, or you don't like so much. And you may have some that you're like, oh my goodness, I feel good. It may actually change your mood, and you may feel better with that particular scent. So just on the flip side, pay attention, even with the essential oils that are going to be healthier versions of scents. But the effects it may have on you may be different on me. And you may feel better with a certain oil. That's what I would recommend, is choose one of those ones that makes you feel good, and then use the perfumes and colognes as least as possible.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Kwame. That
you.
does conclude our talk for today.
If this podcast spoke to you, or if you feel like you have family members or friends that have these types of conditions that could benefit from this particular technology, then all you need to do is become a Body Chargers member or tell them about Body Chargers. Remember, it's our community that I created to help people at home with the best technologies in the world to be able to help you to self-heal your body at home and maximize your self-healing. So go to Body Chargers, become a member. That's the easiest way to get this done. And we look forward to serving you and your family. Also, if you want a higher level of care, we have the Nerve Health Institute you can always come to. That's our clinic where we have higher level services here to be able to help you. So I hope you enjoy, and we look forward to serving you and your family, and look forward to our next podcast.